Good morning, friends. Hope you're warm and safe. Good to see you. Let's rise in body and our spirit and sing together Rising Green. It's hymn number 1068 out of the Teal Hymn Book. If you're joining us online, you can find the lyrics posted in the chat. My blood doth rise in the root of yon oak. My sap doth run in my veins. Boundless my soul like the open sky, where the stars forever ablaze. Where the stars, where the stars, where the stars forever ablaze. My hands hold the weavings of time without end. My sight as deep as the sea. Beating my heart sounds the measures of old, and of love's eternity. That of love's, that of love's, that of love's eternity. I feel the tides as they answer the moon, rushing on a far distant sand. Winging my song is the wind on my breast, and my love blows over the land. And my love, and my love, and my love blows over the land. My foot carries days of the old into new. Our dreaming shows us the way. Wondrous our faith settles deep in the earth, rising green to greet a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to greet a new day. Thank you for singing.
Good morning. Welcome to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Thank you for joining us today. We're so glad you're here. My name is Ann Radford. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a member of the worship arts team. Leading worship with me today is our minister, Reverend Mary Gear, Reverend Sarah Lewis, our Director of Community and Faith Development, and Troy Fisher, our Music Director. Our community envisions an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. You are welcome here just as you are. Whatever beliefs sustain you, whomever you love, however you understand and express your identity, and in all the ways you are becoming and growing. Here are a few things that you should know about our service today so you can feel welcome. We are streaming live on Zoom and YouTube, and the service is being recorded. For those here in the sanctuary, you can see the creative subtitles sometimes on the screen in front, and for those on Zoom, you also have subtitles. We are a multi-generational community, and we welcome people of all ages in the sanctuary. There's also nursery care and story time for children in the classroom wing down the hall. And over here we have soft chairs and activities for your hands so everyone can be here in a way that supports them. Please be where you are most comfortable. We're so grateful for the many people who helped worship happen this morning. Thank you to all who contribute in many ways. After the service, everyone will have a chance to discuss reflection questions offered by Reverend Mary. For those online, we invite you to go into a breakout room for a virtual coffee chat. For those in person, please feel free to stay for coffee and fellowship in the Commons. And at 12:15 today, please join us back here in the sanctuary or back in the main Zoom room for you at home for our forum in which Reverend Mary interviews Jeff Willard from Wolf Haven, a sanctuary just south of Olympia. At 2 p.m. today, the new UU class will be on the topic of pastoral care. This class is for all who would like to know more about OUUC or are interested in becoming members. For the last 2 days, OUUC has hosted our huge Books, Brownies, and Beans sale, raising lots of money for organizations that further our UU values in the world. In the coming weeks, look for an announcement of how much money was raised. This was a massive undertaking. Would any of the leaders please rise? Any of the leaders of the BBB team who are here in the sanctuary, would you please rise? Okay, let's bring them up. And now, would anyone who did any work for the book sale please rise? Oh, look at this. Thank you all for putting your faith into action. Each week this year, we will highlight an opportunity for engagement here at OUUC. This week's opportunity is the Memorial Receptions team. Do you like to make deviled eggs or chocolate chip cookies? Do you like to work in the kitchen or set up canopies, chairs, tables? If so, consider joining this team. This team takes care of the reception part of the memorial service for our members and friends, holding the family in loving care. If you are interested in joining the team, please contact Melanie Ransom. Melanie, you want to raise your hand there? Okay, there's Melanie. There are many things happening here at OUUC. Check out the Tuesday electronic update on the website for the most up-to-date information. As we enter into this time of worship, we invite you to open your heart to the possibility of transformation in this gathering of community. It is good to be together.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Mary, and I use she, her pronouns. I have some sad news to share this morning that may be hard for those of you who have been around for a while. I bring the news that former OUC minister Arthur Vaney died on Friday. He was at home in New Hampshire with his wife and his family, and they say that he died painlessly and peacefully. I learned of this late last night and have been emailing with his wife Sally last night and this morning. Sally shared that Arthur had been not feeling real great for a few days. He was short of breath and really tired. And he was seen in the emergency room where they found blood clots in his lungs. And because Arthur had planned ahead and made his end-of-life wishes known to his family and his doctors, the blood clots were not treated. He went home on hospice care where he was cared for by his family. And Sally says he died peacefully in the presence of his daughter, Anne Marie, and his beloved Sally. Arthur was the minister here at OUUC from the fall of 2001 through the spring of 2014. I'm told that in his first weeks here, the 9/11 tragedy happened. He is now OUUC's Minister Emeritus in recognition for his devoted service to this congregation. In my years here, I've kept in touch with Sally and Arthur, letting them know of significant things that happen in the congregation and how we're doing, and to remind Arthur of how much he is loved and remembered here. During Arthur's ministry to this congregation, you experienced incredible numerical growth. The congregation grew a lot. It was also a time of war in the Middle East, and an increasing population in Olympia and all up and down the West Coast that put a lot of pressure on housing in the city. Arthur shepherded the congregation as you served those without homes at Camp Quixote, hosting a tent city here in the parking lot that rotated every 3 months through congregations in Olympia. Arthur saw the congregation through a capital campaign and a building expansion that added the Commons and the RE wing and a new minister's office. And if my math is right, the Brownies Books and Beans book sale that happened this weekend started during Arthur's tenure. It began 22 years ago. And Arthur saw the congregation through some hard times as well. Sally says that Arthur loved this congregation and the people in it, and he loved being your minister. Arthur was a compassionate and gentle man, I'm told, and a very skilled minister. His legacy here is one of responding to growth and responding to the tragedies of the world. His legacy lives on today as we continue to grow and deepen and offer our service and compassion to all of the challenges of the world that we face today. With gratitude for his life and his ministry, we light a candle in memory of the Reverend Arthur Vaney.
This morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition. This morning, we light the chalice with the words of Mark Causey. We light this chalice, spark of the original fire of creation, to remind us that we all on this planet, the furred, the feathered, the finned, and the scaled, along with us featherless bipeds, we are all made of the same star stuff and all share a common destiny. We all share the same hopes of a life free from harm and suffering, and the same aspirations of happiness and love and flourishing. Being able to express our own unique natures and capacities as best we may. We are just that many diverse perspectives from which the whole is seen and experienced. We are inextricably intertwined, interconnected, and interdependent, and it is good.
Our opening words for today are offered by the Reverend Erica Hewitt. Mary Oliver wrote, "You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves." As we enter into worship, put away the pressures of the world that ask us to perform, to take up masks, to put on brave fronts. Silence the voices that ask you to be perfect. This is a community of compassion and welcoming. You do not have to do anything to earn the love that is contained within these walls. You do not have to be braver, smarter, stronger, better than you are in this moment to belong here among us. You only have to bring the gift of your body, no matter how able, your seeking mind, no matter how busy, your animal heart, no matter how broken. Bring all that you are and all that you love to this time together. Come, let us worship together.
And let's sing together again. Are you ready? I invite you to rise in body and our spirit, and let's sing Harry Belafonte's "Turn the World Around." Get your calypso on here.
Good morning. So I had a hard time picking a story for you all for today because there are so many good folk tale traditions about people who transform into animals or trees that transform into humans, and how we are connected and able to cross that boundary. But I picked a story that comes from the folklore of Scotland, and it's about selkies. So selkies are beings who are usually seals and living in the water. But when they want to, they can take off their seal skin and become humans. And so on this story, it begins on a beautiful night with a big full moon in the sky. And a young man was walking along the beach when he happened upon a whole group of Selkies who had shed their sealskins in order to come out and dance as humans underneath the moon. And he was struck by how beautiful the Selkies were. They were truly gorgeous creatures. And seeing one of the sealskins nearby, he took it and hid it. And so when the Selkies were done with their dance and ready to return to the sea, and they all went to put their sealskins back on, there was one woman who could not return to the sea but was trapped as a human. Now, eventually, the young man and the Selkie woman married and had children. And she was mostly happy. She loved her children, and things were fine. But one day, as she was doing her chores, her son brought her something that he had found. It was her sealskin. It had been hidden in a spot where only a very bored young child would think to look. And taking the sealskin in her hands, she felt the call to return to the sea. And so, although she loved her children, she ran for it. As her husband returned, he just saw a streak as she went to the sea, and he never saw her again. But whenever the children went to play at the shore, a sealhead would bob up and say hello. Thus ends our story.
Each Sunday, we engage in the spiritual practices of generosity and gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. This is an opportunity to express our gratitude for the gifts life has given us, for the network of relationships in which we live, and for the presence of this community. We each have the power to share, and when we combine our gifts to create an offering together, we are able to do more than any of us can do alone. If you are new or visiting us for the first or second time, you are our guest, and we do not expect you to contribute. However, if you are moved to be part of our offering, what you share is accepted with gratitude. The offering collected here does two things. Half helps support the ongoing work of this congregation, which is also supported by our regular pledges. The other half of our offering goes to charity. Most is shared with an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values. And a small portion goes to the OUUC Ministers Benevolent Fund to support the more urgent needs of the community. Our Share the Plate organization for this month is South Puget Sound Habitat for Humanity, and this is what they share about their work.
Hello, OUUC. My name is Elizabeth Walker. I am the CEO of South Puget Sound Habitat for Humanity. Thanks so much for including us as a part of your Share the Plate contribution. It's the support of community members like you that make our work possible. Our vision is a world where everyone has a decent place to live, and we try to live into this vision every day through our programming. You probably know us through our home building program. This is where we work to make sure our neighbors in Thurston County can afford their homes and thrive and live and stay in this community. We are currently building 28 new townhomes in a development in Tumwater, and we also have a lot of work in the pipeline and 2 big projects in Olympia and Yelm. If this sounds interesting to you, we would love to have you out on the site to volunteer. Less known is our work in home repairs. Often it's a leaky roof or a water heater that makes the difference between a homeowner being able to stay in their home or not. And our home repair programs make sure that they can stay and they can stay affordably. We also support aging in place through home improvements like tub to shower conversions and wheelchair ramps. You may have a friend, a neighbor, a congregation member that could use some support in this area, either through aging in place or through critical home repairs. If they need a hand, send them our way. We know that housing is one of the most pressing challenges of Thurston County. People that choose to partner with us come from all walks of life, and they know that in this climate, a working parent with 2 kids often doesn't have a chance of buying their own home. By donating, by being a part of this Share the Plate, you're helping to create new affordable homeownership opportunities for our community. So please join us online, sign up to volunteer, spshabitat.org. We really appreciate your support and would love to meet you.
And one of the families that moved into the new housing development in Tumwater is from our congregation. So may this offering now sustain and grow the life and mission of this congregation. May we give in love and in hope.
Thank you so much for your generosity and all the ways you share your many gifts. Humans throughout our existence have gathered together in times when we are grieving and worried, and in times when we are celebrating and joyful. We come into our community together each Sunday morning, bringing all that is in our lives, on our minds and in our hearts. So let's open our hearts to the complexity of life as we place stones in the water of community. You'll hear a drum beat. I invite you to allow its resonance into your body. It's the heartbeat of life, the heartbeat of our community. So right now, just take a deep breath. The breath of life in and out. Feel the air as it enters and leaves your body. Feel the earth beneath us. Feel the warmth of connection. This morning, we hold up all those who are being impacted by the federal shutdown, all of the federal workers and the state workers, and all of us who are so generously served by them. This is a time when generosity and kindness is needed more than ever. May we each offer both as we are able. And we send our love and care to the family and friends of Arthur Vaney as they mourn his passing. And may we hold in care all of those here who are also grieving this loss. And now let us open our circle wide. For those who are joining us on Zoom today, I invite you to share from your heart by entering in the chat. Those of us in the sanctuary will be able to see your sharing on the screen, and it's also shared with me and the pastoral care team. For those on site today, I invite you to come forward if there's something you'd like to share, to bring into this community. You may place a stone in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. So let's hear the heartbeat of our community as we reach out our hearts in love and care to all who share today. Do you need a hand? We'll place a stone in the water for all that has been shared online, shared from the heart. And one more stone placed in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. We hold together all that has been shared. May you feel yourself witnessed. May you know that you are loved. Today seems like a really good day to howl, don't you think? So in a minute, I'm going to invite us to howl together. It'll match the weather outside among whatever might be happening in our hearts and minds today. So I'll invite us to howl together. We'll howl for as long as we need to and want to. And then when that ends, naturally, we'll be in silence for a few minutes together. Are you ready?
I invite you to remain seated and let's sing together. Hymn number 1011, Return Again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul.
Today's first reading is written by Edward Osborne Wilson, American biologist, naturalist, ecologist, and entomologist. Humanity is a biological species living in a biological environment because, like all species, we are exquisitely adapted in everything, from our behavior to our genetics, to our physiology, to that particular environment in which we live. The earth is our home, Unless we preserve the rest of life as a sacred duty, we will be endangering ourselves by destroying the home in which we evolved and on which we completely depend.
The Wild in Us, Part 1. In March of 1925, the Tennessee legislature passed the Butler Act, which declared it illegal to teach in the public schools, quote, any theory that denies the story of the divine creation of man as taught in the Bible and teaches instead that man is descended from a lower order of animals. Tennessee outlawed teaching Darwin's theory of evolution. Almost immediately, the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, advertised for and found a teacher willing to challenge this law. John Scopes, a 24-year-old football coach who taught math and general sciences and on occasion biology, accepted this challenge. So in his classroom, Scopes quoted from a textbook about the theory of evolution and was convicted of breaking the Butler Act in July of that year in a trial that was followed around the world. It has been known as the Scopes monkey trial, immortalized in a play and then a movie titled Inherit the Wind. Scopes was eventually acquitted on a technicality, but the Butler Act remained law in Tennessee until it was repealed in 1967. Now, there are many parts of this famous trial that are worth pondering and certainly relevant to our times today. The separation of church and state, the First Amendment right to free speech, our obligation to teach our children science and critical thinking. There are two parts of this story that I want to explore today: the connection between humans and the natural world, and the compatibility or incompatibility of religion and science. Since Charles Darwin proposed his theory of evolution, some religious leaders have and still do question the idea that humans evolved from and are related to other animals, that humans are part of the family of great apes. Some religions believe an origin story from the Jewish Bible, that humans were created by God fully formed as we are now, and that humans were created to have dominion over the earth. That latter directive from the book of Genesis informs some people to say that they have responsibility to steward this earth, while others regard it as a license to exploit and extract the earth's resources. Now, Darwin's theory was widely accepted among biologists within about 20 years of the publication of his masterpiece on the origin of species in 1859. Since then, biologists and other scientists have used scientific methods to build on this theory and find more evidence to support its truth. And it has changed, as theories do. One of those scientists was E.O. Wilson, the author of our reading. Now, Wilson was a Harvard biology professor and an entomologist best known for his study of ants. However, he is beloved by many for his work in the field of sociobiology, which is the scientific study of the biological roots of human and animal behavior. This field of science is controversial because of the ongoing nature-nurture debate about the origins of human and animal behavior. Sociobiology falls on the nature side of things, suggesting that how we act is determined by things like our genes rather than by how we are raised. I think many people these days agree that it's probably both and the interaction between them. Wilson popularized the concept of biophilia, a word rooted in the Greek bio, meaning life, and philia, meaning love. Biophilia means love of life. Wilson's work in the 1980s asserted that biophilia, the love of life, is a biologically based human need to connect with nature and other animals, innate because of our evolutionary history on this planet. Wilson said, not only have we evolved from other animals, but because of our evolution, we have a biological need to connect with them, to care for them, to love them. And while Wilson fully embraced the idea of evolution and interconnection, he did not believe that science and religion were compatible. He wrote, "The uncomfortable truth is that the two beliefs, meaning science and the supernatural, are not factually compatible. As a result, those who hunger for both intellectual and religious truth will never acquire both in full measure." And as he wrote this, I wonder how much Wilson was influenced by the memory and the after effects of the Scopes trial, which put into the public domain, into the public eye, the ideas that beliefs and politics trump science and that humans are not connected to animals. The religion of Unitarian Universalism shares with Wilson the idea of interconnection, interdependence, and care for this earth and all life. But where we take a different stance is on the idea of religion and science. As the Reverend Dr. Sherry Prudhomme writes in her Reflections on a Shared UU Values, "We nurture and rest our bodies not on a disposable planet, but on holy ground. We understand our bodies to be made up of the same stuff as the earth and the stars, and we cherish our bodies and the body of the earth." In writing about the UU value of interdependence, Prudhomme is drawing on science as a source of our faith. And in fact, science and reason have been named as part of the 6 sources of Unitarian Universalism. The UU Association bylaws say that member congregations like OUUC affirm and promote humanist teachings which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science, and warn us against idolatries of the mind and spirit. UUs believe and act in a way that affirms science and religion as not only compatible, but deeply connected. We embrace the idea that seeing ourselves as part of the natural world does not lower us to something lesser, but rather raises all life as holy. Prudhomme also speaks of embodiment, the experience of being present to all of our senses, in touch with the life that is around us and within us, being aware of our animal nature, the wild in us, and our connection to animal life. This, too, is contrary to some philosophical and religious beliefs. There is a long and ancient philosophical thread of dualism which says that the mind and the body are separate, with the mind as superior to the body. And some say that the body is the source of sin. Idolatry of the mind could be seen as the worship of our intellect in such a way that the truth is distorted and the physical world of our bodies is ignored, dismissed, and denied. Part of the work that UUs do in the world of justice is to act in ways that combat the consequences of these threads of belief so ingrained in our culture that we may not even see them anymore. The idea that humans are at the top of a hierarchy pyramid above all other life, that the mind and the body are separate, that the intellect is all that is important, that our bodies need to be tamed restrained and controlled, leading to the control of other human and animal bodies. These ideas have been rebutted by science and by the experience of generations of humans, especially those who live connected to the earth. These harmful beliefs feed the exploitation of the earth and animals, leading to the loss of arable land, habitat destruction, and species extinction. It leads to the extraction of the earth's resources in a way that harms the land, our communities, and people. It leads to the suppression and oppression of humans who do not fit an ideal of mind and body. Unitarian Universalists call on the wild within us and all around us to inspire the awe and wonder of the beautiful earth that we inhabit. We declare that science informs our beliefs and our values and leads us to work for environmental justice, justice for all bodies, and justice for all life. After all, there might be a Selkie among us waiting for their true self to be set free.
Our second reading is Gift from the Geese by Jennifer Pratt Walter, a farmer and earth-based spirituality practitioner who attends the Unitarian Universalist Church of Vancouver, British Columbia. High up, the wild geese have pulled the rusty doorway of autumn closed behind them. Their sharp music a choir of deep acoustic truth. They're calling you to listen to the mysteries of passing that echo in the chamber of your being. Out there, winter waits to be ushered in. Like the geese, wildness is claiming you with all its colors. Can you hear it? The russet and gray, the cold chalk white. Can you feel it bite your cheeks?
It seems to me that the colors of the leaves this fall are especially gorgeous, filling our environment with wonderful fall colors. I'm enjoying the brilliant red of the dogwood tree in my yard and the bright yellow and orange leaves outside my office window here at OUC. And I'm also enjoying the fall activity of the deer in my neighborhood. We see does and fawns in the neighborhood all year long, but fall is when we see the bucks. Because after all, that's how we get the fawns in the spring. And this year, we have a gigantic 10-point buck that is making its way through the neighborhood and passes through our yard every few days. He is gigantic. And I always stop whatever I'm doing when I see him to marvel at his size and his part in the cycle of life. Now, perhaps you can relate to Wilson's theory that we humans are drawn to connect with nature. I certainly can. All throughout my childhood, the natural world of Western Michigan and the Big Lake filled my days, and it formed my mind, body, and spirit. Experiences of transcendence and discernment in the natural world helped me find my way to religious leadership. It was a male cardinal, a bright red bird, that brought me the first indication of a call to ministry. And that's why many of my stoles have a cardinal on them to help me remember. It was a vision fast in the forest that helped me see that what I thought was a set career path needed to change. And it is the beauty of this place, the ocean, the sky, the forest, and the mountain, that help keep me renewed. Nature is good for us humans. It nourishes our physical health, and it supports our mental health, and it improves our ability to think. Our bodies evolved to move through the natural world, and it improves our immune system when we do. Being in nature can help create a sense of calm and focus and concentration. How many of you have found the answer to a thorny question or problem on a walk or a bike ride or working or sitting outside? Nature is also deeply connected to our human spirituality in many ways. Some of us nourish our souls with a connection to nature, noting the turning of the seasons, seeking the wonder and awe that nature inspires. Earth-centered traditions are the most ancient of our human religions. One theory is that humans created religion in order to make sense of the natural world and to find meaning in life. Why does the sun come up and set? Why do the seasons change? Why do our lives unfold as they do? How did animals and plants come to be, and why do they exist? How did humans come to be, and why do we exist? These are all core theological questions that every faith tradition tries to answer or supports individuals in finding answers to. Connection to nature is part of our human religious heritage, and the compatibility of religion and science is how our faith tradition has evolved. But just as there are harmful effects to disconnection from the natural world, there are some challenges to connection as well. The first is our human tendency to romanticize nature. It's not all warm and cuddly, and it's not always beautiful or calm. Animals kill other animals for food. Humans certainly do. Most of us who eat meat are distanced from the act, and we get our meat already butchered and prepared and in clean sanitary wrapping. And animals are aggressive about their territory and the close relationships of kinship. Humans act this way too. Every war around the world is about land and culture, kinship, and identity. Nature has death in it, and death is a part of the cycle of life. Now, I'm not saying that we can't notice and hold in reverence the beauty of nature with wonder and awe. I am saying that when we romanticize nature, we lose some of our wild animal knowing. The knowing that death is a part of life. The knowing that loss and grief is natural. That uncertainty, the knowing that uncertainty and danger are a part of living. And the knowing of the danger of how we humans can act, we human animals can act, and how we might live and be and manage that. If we pause to notice, we know these things are true in our modern world. Loss and death, uncertainty and danger, and unhealthy aggression. If we notice, we can draw on the wildness within us to be brave and resilient in times such as these. We are evolving for times such as these. It's what the great turning that Joanna Macy writes about is all about. The second danger of connection to the wild is our intrusion into it. When humans seek to get close to the wild, it can sometimes be harmful for animals, if not fatal. While we can limit our impact on the natural world, whenever we humans enter wild spaces, we change it. On my family's trip to Yellowstone last month, we saw this everywhere as humans and vehicles, including us, moved through what seemed like wild spaces on paved roads and sought interaction with wild animals. People get out of their cars near the bison. And every year, at least a couple of people are killed by bison in the park when they get too close and are seen as threatening. And yet the complexity is that it was the creation of national parks that allowed so many people to experience and fall in love with nature in the first place. Humans are also impacting the wild by our expansion, our movement into wild spaces, causing a loss of habitat. In my neighborhood, 30 acres of farmland and forest is being developed to provide housing, which is so much needed in Olympia. And that meant taking out trees and disrupting the animals that live in them, including the deer that I see in my yard. We humans are part of nature, and because of who we are, we have a large impact on all life that we share this earth with. In the after-service forum today at 12:15, I'm going to speak with Jeff Willard, the executive director of Wolf Haven. And one of the things we'll discuss is the transformation of Wolf Haven from a roadside attraction to a sanctuary. It's an inspiring story. I hope you'll join us on site or online. Earlier this month, we lost Jane Goodall, the British primatologist, anthropologist, and author known for her more than 60-year study of the chimpanzees in Tanzania's Gombe Stream National Park. Her scientific research revolutionized biology by showing that chimps use and make tools, hunt and eat meat in addition to plants, have complex social structures and emotional lives, and make war on each other, just like humans do. Until then, in our arrogance, we humans believed that only we had the ability to do things like make and use tools, which has been disputed by the behavior of many animals, including crows and elephants and otters. Goodall redefined the relationship between humans and other species, calling for the protection of animals and of habitat. She said, "Here we are, the most clever species ever to have lived. So how is it that we can destroy the only planet that we have? If we do not do something to help these creatures," she was speaking of the chimps, "we make a mockery of the whole concept of justice." By our work to protect the earth, our home, we honor her legacy and the memory of all the scientists who came before. And so we come back again to our place in the interconnected web of life. We come from the fire and the water and the mountain and the sunlight. We are dependent on this earth that formed us, and we are beholden to all life that coexists with us, for our survival is intertwined with theirs. So this week, as we celebrate Halloween, I invite you to let the wildness claim you. Let it call forth your bravery and your resilience so that you may move gently into this world and hold all life with love. Let's hold just a moment of silence together.
I invite you to rise in body and our spirit, and let's sing together Betsy Rose's May You Walk. May you walk in your life as a warrior, clear and loving and strong. May you walk in your life as a warrior, trusting the path you are on. May you walk in your life as a healer, clear and loving and strong. May you walk in your life as a healer, trusting the path you are on. May you walk in your life as a lover, clear and loving and strong. May you walk in your life as a lover, trusting the path you are on. Clear and loving and strong, trusting the path you are on.
We extinguish our chalice with the words from The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? May you go with joy, go with commitment, go with love.